Hello, everyone. Good evening. I don't know if you can see my screen. Good evening, everybody. And please, you can just do me a favor. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Timson. So I'm going to be your instructor for this live section. So I can see that few numbers of persons have started waiting for me before I even came. I'm sorry. I was trying to do some setup. That said, please do me a favor. Just help me and create a kind of reminder in your various group. Let them know that the live class is ongoing. And please help me and confirm if very audible, if I'm not echoing from my end. I think everything is fine. But of course, you are the ultimate listener, so I need you to verify if my voice is not echoing and if my voice is clear. Please let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much. And do me a favor, just introduce yourself. Um, Tell me your name, your country, the country you're watching from. Let me know. It's just for pleasantry sake. It's nothing. So thank you very much. I should do that in the comment section. So we can just wait a few minutes for others to join up so that we can carry everybody along. Thank you. Soko, you told me you cannot really get me. Please, can you explain further? Okay, Chuku Pamela, thank you very much. You're confirming to me that it's audible and clear. Mr. Konuche, thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. You said you're watching from Zambia, Um, Mr. Soko. Okay, thank you very much. Please do me a favor. Help me to create some kind of reminder. Tell people that are in the group to join up as we are waiting for them, and we won't wait longer than this. We just want to wait a little bit, saying few minutes, could be 3, 4, 5 minutes, so we get started. Thank you very much for your patience and God bless. Just let's I just want everybody to be carried along so that they will experience this live session. The importance of live session is just to have real time scenario. It's just to simulate a real time class, a real class. So it's a way that we get to understand each other. It's a way we get to ask questions if there's anything confusing, so that we can, you know, we can have a thorough understanding of what we are doing. So if there's anybody that is not getting, or if there's any confusion, sort of, you can call my attention to it, and I can give you a response in real time. So any questions that you have, anything that I've said, or any thing that I make mention of that you're not getting, just do me a favor by just letting me know in the comment section. Any question, no question is a stupid question. Any question is allowed. Any question is welcome, as far as it relates to what we are doing here. So don't be shy to ask any question. Okay. Soko is saying that my voice is high at some point and low at some point. I want any other person to confirm that for me. I don't know if my voice is high at some point. And you can just do me a favor. You can like the session. I can see some like. If you are happy to be in this live session, just hit the like button, and you can just subscribe to our channel, so that and of course always click on the no- and always click on the notification bell, so as for you to have a real time reminder of anything that will be posted, or of any information that is coming from this channel. Thank you very much. So anybody should just help me and confirm what uh, Kondwani Soko is saying. I said it's like my voice is high at some point, then low at another point. Okay, we can just get started. So, I understand that some of us are making use of mobile device. I don't know if I'm wrong. Some of us are going to make use of mobile device for the time being before you get your before you get to purchase your own laptop. Of course, you need a laptop or a computer for this course. But of course, I want to understand that the situations in the country may, deter some people from having laptop by starting. So I would understand that. So for now, at least for this foundation class, before we move to a much more advanced concept, I would want you can of course start off with using your mobile phone. But of course, I will for you to be able to run your code, you will need you would need to have you will need to make use of an online interpreter or online ID rather. So first thing we'll be needing is to have Python installed. Do you understand? So we need to have Python what installed. So I want you to go to this website. If you cannot get the website, go to google.com. The name of the website, I don't know if you can see it. Let me try to zoom out. Okay, it's not zooming out. I mean the okay. Come to let's go to google.com. Let me go to google.com. So when you get to google.com, just type Python download. Python download. Um, Look at what you will type. So you will type Python download. So when you type Python download in Google, so the first thing that comes out is the website python.org. That is the official website of Python. Of course, the name of this course we are doing is Python. We're going to be learning Python programming, of course, and this will lead us to. I just normally I should be starting with statistics, but I just want us to have that foundation knowledge of Python programming. Then, of course, by the time we now go to statistics and start using Python in statistics, we have will not be having some sort of confusions. So, so when you get to when you click on Python download, first thing I want to attend to those that has for those that have computer. So then I will also tell those that have I will also put those that don't have computer through so that everybody can carry it along. So yeah, so when you put Python download, then the first thing that you will see here, you'll be seeing download Python from python.org. So the first thing, just click on it. So when you click on it, it takes you to the official page of Python. Do you understand? So when you go to the official page of Python, this is an official page of Python where we can download Python because you need Python to be downloaded and installed on your system. So, so when you want to download Python, you will see this page. I'm pretty much sure that you're going to see this page. So you download Python for your version. Um, I am saying download the latest version for Mac OS because I'm on Mac. My operating system is Mac. The system I'm using is Mac. So in your own case, you should see download the latest version for Windows. So when you see that, just try to scroll down. So if you're on Windows, you will see your own case because it automatically recognizes my operating system. So just click on this download 3 Python 3.13.1. So when you click on this download, let's wait for it to load. It's loading here. So you will see it's loading. In your own case, it might not be loading from where I'm loading on from. I mean, from where I have my progress loading on. So let's just wait for it to finish loading. So if you're on Mac, the website will recognize your operating systems. Yes. So in my own case, it's Mac OS. In your own case, it will be Windows. So it will say download the latest version for Windows. So after that, you just click on this button that I'm hovering on. I don't know if you can see that. You click on this button that I'm hovering on. So when you click on it, the download section will start. So let's just wait for it to download. So far, if you have anything, just let me know. If you have any question, just let me know. So let's just wait for it to download. We know how the network of this our continent is. So let's just wait for it to finish downloading. Okay, so while it's downloading, you can just do me a favor. If you have take your time to subscribe to our channel, take your time to like this section, click on like button, give me some give me some emoji, some just give me some emoji like I'm doing, just give me some emoji, just give me some you know good emoji icons and stuff, you know click on the like button, subscribe to our channel, so that and click on notification bell so that you can be informed of any activity that's going on the channel. So now let's check the progress and let's see how still have one. So now we can see that it's the download is complete. So I don't know the operating system you are using. Let me okay, let's just continue. So as I clicked on it, it said, yeah, it takes me here. In your own case, it will not take you there. Just click on anything you see, just be clicking on continue, continue, agree. You have to agree. Um, continue, uh, install, yes. Okay. So I'm trying to install on my drive. Um, so if you're following me, let me know. For those with system, just follow along. So let's follow along. Okay, after you've done that, um, well, I think yep. So I have Python installed, but in your own case, um, okay, let me see. Okay, still loading. Sorry, it's still loading. Yeah, so I have it loaded. So I can just close and move this to trash if you're on Mac. So I have the Python installed. So if you have it installed, just go to the terminal. In your own case, if you are using if you're on Windows, it will indicate command prompt. So you go to command prompt. So I'm coming. So let me try to zoom so that you can see what I'm doing. So go to your terminal or your command prompt, as the case may be for you. If you're on Windows, just type Python dash version. So oh sorry, I'm on Mac. If you're on Mac or Linux, just instead of typing Python, because Python comes originally with Mac, and of course what we have there is Python 2. So if you want to see Python 3, if you're on Mac, if you want to see Python 3, just type Python 3. Coming. Just type Python 3 dash version. But in your own case, if you're on Mac, just type Python. Don't type Python 3. Just type Python. But in my own case, I'm on Mac. That's why I have to type Python 3. If not, it will just be showing me Python 2 version, which is obsolete. So just type Python 3 if you're on Mac, and if you're on Windows, just type Python to space dash version. So you should see Python 3.1.11 in my own case, but point one, I mean point 11.3. So that shows I have Python installed successfully. So that said, let me close the terminal. So after that is done, let's now attend to those that are going to be using mobile device. So if you are using a mobile phone, or the installation I have taken you through, you find it very hard for you to follow through. What you will do for me is this: Just don't worry. Don't let that bother you. We are still, because we still have a lot of software to install. Okay, let me just finish up with those with computer. So after you've done that, the next thing for us to do is go to Google again. Go to Google, type google.com. So when you type google.com, just type VS Code. What is VS Code? VS Code is an acronym for Visual Studio Code. What it simply means is an IDE. And what is an IDE? An IDE is an integrated development environment. What does it do? It is an environment where we write our code. It's a place where we execute our code. Every programming languages, every programming language make use of an IDE. You need an IDE, which is an environment for you to run your source code. So for you to code, you need an IDE that runs and executes your code. You understand? So VS Code makes our life easy. So you just go to VS Code, you type VS Code in Google, VS Code download. So when you type VS Code download, so it comes here. You see the first, you see download Visual Studio Code for Mac, Linux, and Windows. These are the three common operating systems that is being that is acceptable by VS Code. So if you're on Windows, you click on Windows, you come and install your own package. If you're on x64, ARM64, x64, ARM64, and x64, so you just download. If you want installer, if you want the zip file, and if you want to download over the CLI, that is command line interface. Then if you're on Linux and your Linux distros, because if you're using Linux, you should know that Linux has different distributors, different distros. So this is Debian distros, Ubuntu and stuff like that. So you can, if you're on Ubuntu, you click on this Debian ARM32 or ARM64. Forget about all these terminologies. Don't get intimidated by all these terminologies. Of course, you get used to them eventually, so that shouldn't bother you. And next one is .rpm. If you're on Red Hat, Fedora, or SUSE, those things are just operating system distributors. So you don't need to bother yourself as to what they are. That's not none of your business. But in the long run, you will eventually get to know them. So then the next one is Mac, which is the one I'm on. So if you click on it, I have a VS Code. So if you click on it, or if you click on Windows, as the case may be for you, um, it will start downloading. So the moment you download, just go to uh, your drive and search for it. But anyways, I will take you through. Like I said, I'm going to take you through the process. I'll create a special class for everybody, and that would be on a weekend, and so that everybody will be present and everybody will choose a specific time. So on a weekend, I will teach everybody how to download VS Code. It's gonna be a live section. I'm going to teach you how to download and install VS Code specially for everybody. So that said, let me quickly take us down to. Let me quickly assist those that are going to be using mobile device. So if you are using mobile device, just type, go to google.com, go to google.com, just type programmers for Python. So programmers for Python, just you can just click on it. So when you click on it, it takes you to wait. Let me. Okay, it takes you to. Okay, let me go back. Type programmers Python compiler. Yes, type this so that it takes you straight to the interpreter. So it brings you here. So if you are on if you are using a mobile device, just come to this side. So you can just you will see different programming language, different softwares are here. We have R. This one is not a programming language; it's an SQL. We have HTML, it's not a programming language. We have Java, we have C, we have C++, we have C Sharp, we have JavaScript, we have Go, PHP, we have Swift, and we have Rust. So since we have all these, you can just make use of it on the go. And for you that you are finding the installations that I've just taken you through, you're finding it difficult to uh, have a way around it. You can just make use of this till I take you through the steps that is needed for you to um, install all of the needed packages. And that said, so yeah, if you want to run your program, let me just say I want to run my program. I want to run hello world. I want to type hello world. I can quickly say type hello world. So I've just run a program. I've just run a code. So hello world is what printed here. So just run your execution, and of course you will see the output here. That is that. So I don't need to explain any of this to you. This is very pretty much simple. I'm taking you um, through the, and if you want to change the background, because this is dark background, programmers they like dark theme. So if you want to change the theme, I think you have to come here, and of course you change the theme so that if you are one of those that likes that one of those that like white background or white theme, you can just make use of the bit. Of course, not if you are not okay with white background, of course you can just change it to dark theme, whichever way works for you. Just go for it. So that is that. uh After taking you through this process, I'm not going to be using this. I'm going to be using an ID, which is my own VS Code that I said I'm going to take you through. So let's just go to, for those that are able to install it successfully, let me quickly do one thing. Let me take you through. Let me go to terminal. Let me open my terminal. So, so let me clear these. Conda deactivate. I'm coming. So, okay, let me zoom. Let me clear again. Okay, so I'm coming. So now that you can see what I'm doing, what I'm going to do now is that right now I'm in no environment. I want to move to my desktop environment. For those of you that could follow through, so I want to create a folder, a directory. Anytime you hear the word directory, it simply means folder. Anywhere you hear the word directory, it means folder. So I want to create a folder. And how do I create it? I want to create it, and I don't want to use the conventional way of creating a folder that you know. So what I will do is I will first of all go to my desktop environment. You can go to your download environment, but me, I want to go myself. I want to go to my desktop environment. So I will cd desktop. So when I cd desktop, oh sorry, let me, so cd desktop. So CD desktop, you will see that the moment I CD it into desktop, it brought me to my desktop environment. You will see that it brought me to what? My desktop environment. So now that I've come to my desktop environment, so the next thing is to create a directory. So how do I create a directory? I'll say mkdir. The term mkdir simply stands for make directory, no space in between. Then create a space and name your directory. You give your directory a name. So, okay, you said you are still on the download part. I think your network is somehow slow. Okay, but don't worry, just follow through. And while it is downloading, just be following us and be going through um, the one the live the online ID that you can make use of, just while you're still waiting for that to download. But that's not an issue. Of course, this I'm having a recorded version of this. Um, we conclude the immediately we conclude the live session. It's gonna be dropping, and you can have access to it for repeat. Thank you very much. So make mkdirl simply stands for make directory, and of course you are going to give your directory a name. So I want to call mine. You can call it anything you want, but I'm going to call mine um, first um, first Python class. Sorry. So I'm going to give my first Python class. So now I've created a folder. So and the folder name is what? First Python class. So the next thing is you need to enter into that folder. To enter into a folder, you can just type cd first Python class. So if I cd into it, oh, okay, okay. Let me remake the folder because it's telling me that I don't want to. I shouldn't have put space in anyways, but since I've put space, it's telling me too many arguments. So I can is it that I recreate my is that I recreate my folder by putting an hyphen in between to collapse the space between them, or I just go straight to my uh, GUI environment, which is the desktop environment, and of course, do whatsoever thing I want to do there. But anyways, I've put hyphen in between. I've created another directory, so I can also say cd into that directory that I just created. This one is different from the first one because this one has hyphen. So now that I've done that, I'm in that first Python class with hyphen environment. So let's see if what I've created is on the desktop that I've tend to place it. Let me just close down these. Um, coming, coming. Let's see if it is here. So let me see. Let's look for it. For Python class. I have a lot of folders here, and my desktop is somewhat scattered. So let's see. Just hold on, I'm looking for it. I have a lot of. Okay. Oh yeah, here it is. So I have first Python class. So the first one just created first. It didn't create the other ones. Basically because I have too many arguments that are compacted together. So let's just click on this. Let me throw away this. Let me move it to trash. So let's move this. If you're on Mac, you can simply, or you're even on Window, you can simply drag it and bring it on top of this VS Code icon. You will see this icon here. It's called VS Code icon. Look at the icon here, this icon that is bouncing, this animated icon here. So the moment it opens, or you can even click on the icon and just drag the folder in it. So immediately it opens. I can, in your own case, it would ask you if you want to trust the document that you're adding, but because I have already, I've been using these, so it's not my first time, so it's not going to ask me that question. So now that I've created a folder, now I need to create a file, and that file is known as executable file. What is an executable file? An executable file is a file that you can run, or you can run script on, or you can use to operate on a particular script. We have different kind of executable file. For example, let me give you an example of executable file you may have come across. Let's say you have, okay, um, text file is an executable file. That's why we have .txt, and we have different executable files. So they have extension. This executable file have extension. So what are the extensions called? The extensions are those things that you see like dot so and so. For example, in your photo file, you'll be seeing dot JPEG, you'll be seeing dot PNG and stuff like that. Dot TST. So all programming language rather has an extension. So in the case of Python, it has what? .py extension. So how do we now write it? You create a file and you name your file. So what do we call our file? I'm creating a file. You can call your file anything you deem fit, but mind you, there are keywords that you must not mimic while creating your file. So in this case, let's create a file, but I'm not going to mimic some keywords that are reserved for Python. There are some reserved words for Python that you must not mimic. You must not use it to create your file, and you must not use it. You must not use those special keywords, unique keywords for Python. You must not use them to create variables. So how do we get started? By creating a file. So I want to name my files. Let me say first class first class dot py. Look at the way I'm writing my this thing. You will see that this casing is called camel casing. The first word starts with a lowercase letter, and the second word starts with what? An uppercase letter. What is it meant for? It's just for readability sake, so that you can know that I'm not writing the whole word together. It's just like me saying hello word. So the hello all written in lowercase, but the word, the W will be written in uppercase, just for you to be able to um, have a sense of readability. That's just it. So let me zoom out a bit. So I've created an extension. I've created a file that I will use to execute my program. I mean my source code. So another thing that I need to execute or to have here another file here. I need a text file. Why do I need a text file? I will be giving some definitions and I will be doing some explanations. And those explanations uh, requires me to have a text file so that by the time I say something, I can write it out so that for you to see. And if you have any question, if I'm answering, I can type them out so that I can type out my answers so that you can see. So in this case, I'm going to I'm going to create a text file. I can say first class dot txt. So the moment I click enter, you will see that this is a text file. The extension is different from the Python extension. So I hope you can see it clearly. So for your own case, you might not be able to execute your on this ID. You may not be able to because you need to install or to do some extension to install some packages. But those packages, don't worry. On by weekend, in fact, I'm making it a mandate. Everybody we attend on the weekend. So we're gonna be explaining we're gonna be explaining a lot of things to everybody on weekend. Do you understand? So that said, um, I'm going to go ahead and collapse this tray file tray here. I'll collapse it so that I can make use of here. So any question so far? Any question, please? Let me know if you have any question so far. Let me know, please. Let me know, please. If you have any question so far, let me know, please. Let me know, please. If you have any questions so far. Okay, and in the absence of any question, let me just proceed. So, first thing is we're gonna be talking about Python. What is Python? I believe everybody here. I want to believe everybody is novice, including myself. So, um, permit me if I see everybody as a newbie in tech. I'm also seeing myself as a newbie in tech. So, that said, let's first of all delve into what Python is. Every profession has its own jargon. Every profession has its own terminologies, and every profession has its own definition. So in this case, we're going to be learning Python, and we first of all need to know and understand what Python is. When you say Python, Python is not what you have known as what you literally know as Python. It's not what you literally know as Python. So, like snake is not a snake. Yes, in the literal sense, Python is a snake, but um, in programming context, Python is not a snake. Python is a programming language. So, what kind of programming language is Python? So let me just type as I define. We can say Python is a high level is a high level. Um, you can say it's a high level interpreted. It's a high level interpreted general purpose general purpose programming language. You can say uh, it's a high level interpreted general purpose programming language known. Let me do a word wrap. Okay, known for. Okay, I'm writing my listing is right. Let me just do a word wrap uh, so that everything can wrap in a new line. Yeah. So Python is a high level interpreted general purpose programming language that is known for its simplicity. That is known for its simplicity and readability. I'm going to explain everything here. It's known for its simplicity and readability. In case it interests you, I'm the founder of Python or the creator of Python. is known as Guido van Rossum. So let's say it was it was created by um, Guido van Guido van Rossum. I think I'm right. You can put that in Google. You can confirm that in Google. The creator of, and it was first released in 1991. So Guido van Rossum is a Dutch professional. He's a Dutch software engineer. So he wrote Python using C, and of course, it was released. Its first release was in 1991. So the most important reason why Python was created is because of the fact that it emphasizes code readability with its clean and straightforward syntax, which allows developers to write concise and clear programs. So it's just for simplicity, and that's why Python is created. So Python has some features, and those features are what I'm going to be talking about. One, the first features. Before I explain these terminologies, these jargons that I've written here, I'll first of all talk about the features of Python. What are the features of Python? Features of Python is one. We can say I'm going to be explaining each of these features. You can say simple and readable syntax. Readable syntax. So you might be wondering, what do I mean by syntax? First of all, let me explain what syntax is. Syntax is simply a grammar. Consider programming language as a language. Do you understand? But it's a kind of language that we speak to computer. Do you understand? It's a kind of language that we speak to computer so that we can, you know, um, we can create some commands on computer. So consider programming language as language that we speak with computer. So now every language has its own syntax. Syntax are just the grammar of every language. So there are ways you cannot write the way you're writing in Java and write it in Python. It's just like having different languages like French, English, Portuguese, Spanish. They all have their own syntax. So it is in programming language. We have Python, Java, C Sharp, C++, C, Rust, Go, whatever programming language. So they all have their own what grammar, which is called syntax. So in this case, Python has simple and readable syntax. What do I mean by simple and readable syntax? Um, I remember I told you that Python syntax is designed to be intuitive, and it mirrors some kind of natural language, making it beginners friendly. Python is so beginners friendly. They took care of a lot of things, and in these features I'm going to be talking about some things, even some things that I didn't mention in the definition. So another thing that we should talk about, another features we should talk about. I hope you understand the feature of simple and readable syntax. It means it is simple, easy to understand, and easy to what read. You don't have to memorize anything. So another thing is it is known as what interpreted. It's an interpreted what language. What do you mean by interpreted language? Um, Whenever you hear the word interpreted, it's in programming language, it's an opposite of compile. You understand? It means Python code is executed line by line by an interpreter, which makes it easier to debug. So, what is that interpreter? It's not a church interpreter. It is not. Yes, for of course, we all say it's a language that we speak. Now, let me explain what that interpreter is, or you can say who that interpreter is. That interpreter is a kind of software that is that is built inside Python, that comes with Python. The function of it is that when I type a command, a programming language, and when I type a source code, I'm sending a command. But the computer itself does not understand programming language. It only understands a machine number. And that machine number, we can't code it. It is not that humans can't code, but it's very, very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So computer speaks only a machine number, which is zeros and one. But we understand programming language. So for us to be able to now give command to the computer, we need an interpreter that will now step down our programming language, that will convert it to bytecode. You understand? Bytecode that will convert it to zeros and one for the computer. So whatsoever thing we code, the interpreter takes it, does the check, and what convert it to bytecode and tell the computer this is what this guy is trying to say. You understand? It's just like you let's assume you are you are not dumb. You speak human language and you want to communicate to a, somebody that is deaf and that's also dumb. So if you want to communicate to somebody that is deaf and so the person needs an interpreter, which is a sign person that speaks sign language, that understands sign language. So and that person must be able to what speak and hear. So the moment you speak to that person, the person interprets it to the dumb person, and that is what an interpreter is here. So by saying it's an interpreted language, it simply means Python code. And also note that it is executed line by an interpreter, which makes it easier to debug and test. Whenever you hear the word debug. If you hear the word debug simply means finding error. Bug is an error in our. Whenever you hear bug, it means error. So debug means finding error, and so it makes it easier to debug and and test. The third feature here is we can say the third feature here is the number three feature. Let me. The number three feature is uh, it's dynamically typed. Dynamically typed. So when they say Python is dynamically typed, it means other programming language you have to specify the data type. What is first of all variable? Let me explain what variable is. Okay, let me explain what dynamically typed is. By dynamically types, we simply means variables in Python do not need explicit declaration. So the type is determined at any runtime. What this means is, first of all, let me explain what variable is. Variable is not the normal variable that you know in mathematics. It's different. Variable in programming language is just like a memory, a space. You are creating a memory in computer, and of course, when you create a space, you are going to store something in it. It's just like having a wallet and you are putting money in it. So that wallet is variable. It's holding what? Your money, which is the value. So a variable is anything in programming language. A variable is something that holds, or you can say it's a memory that holds a value, or it's something that holds a value. Say, for example, you have a bottle of Fanta, or a bottle of drink rather, and the variable is the bottle itself, and the drink is the content in it. So the value is a drink in it, and the variable is the variable is what is the container, or let's say a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. When you have a cup of coffee, the coffee itself is the content, which is the value, and uh, the cup itself is the container, which is the variable. So understand what variable is. But in other programming language, for you to store a value inside a variable, you have to specify the data you are storing inside the variable. But the case is not so. And those programming languages are known as statically typed programming language, because you have to specify the type of variable you are storing. If you are storing number, you have to tell the programming language that, for example, Java, you have to tell Java you are storing number, which is integer, or what kind of number. It could be double, it could be float, it could be integer. You are going to get to understand what all those means. So in Python, you don't need to specify. That is why it is dynamically typed. Python will detect itself. So variables in Python do not need explicit declaration. You don't declare and now say, okay, I'm declaring with data types. You don't need to do that. Types is determined at runtime. So Python determines that. Then the fourth one is this. The fourth feature is multi-paradigm. Multi-paradigm. Paradigm. Yeah, I hope I'm right with the spelling. So what is multi-paradigm? By multi-paradigm, we simply means Python supports multiple programming paradigms. What are paradigms? In every programming languages, we have stages. We have paradigms. Just take paradigm as a kind of stage. We have procedural. We have procedural paradigm. We have functional, and we have OOP. OOP is object-oriented programming. Don't worry, you're going to get to know all those things. You don't need to rush. You don't need to panic. You don't need to appear as if those things. You don't need to feel that they are intimidating. Forget about that. Forget about all those jargons. You get to know them eventually. It's not something that sound intimidating to you. So by paradigm, Python supports all those three paradigms: procedural, whereby you run your code line, one after the other. We have object oriented, where you have to model, you use program, you use code to model real life scenario. And we have functional programming. So Python supports all those three programs. We're gonna be getting into it, and of course by getting into it, I'll explain, and with that it will stick. Don't worry. Then I'm still in the definition. Don't worry, we're gonna be running our code. Just take your pen and paper and write whatsoever thing you're seeing, and give, of course, whatsoever explanation that I'm giving. Then another one is called extensive standard library. Now, extensive standard library. I don't know how to. It's just like library. Just say library. Python comes with very vast libraries of modules. What is library? Library, it's, of course, you might be thinking library, your where you keep books and all that. Yes, you can say that, but Python has a kind of library where modules are kept. You understand? So what are these library? Modules and packages are kept rather. What are these libraries? Libraries are just some code that are written by other developers, so that you will use them out of the box without trying to reinvent the wheel. What I say when I say reinvent the wheel, I simply mean starting from afresh. From scratch. You understand? There are some things you don't need to start from scratch. When we get there, you will see what they have. So, um, those libraries, those libraries are simply tags such as, you can say, file handling, data manipulation, and web development. Those libraries are useful for those. Then another one we can look at is platform independent. Python does not care the kind of platform. When you say platform independent, we simply mean, let me write it out. That should be number 6, but I'm putting it as number 5. Platform independent. Independent. Yeah. So platform independent. Python does not care. By platform, we simply means the operating system of your machine. Python doesn't care what operating system you are running on. Let me explain what operating system, in case we don't know. An operating system is just the software that is on our machine that enables us to do some task with our computer. We have Windows, we have Mac OS, we have Linux, we even have operating system on a mobile device, which is the Android and iOS. So those are operating system. So just know that's a simple definition I can give for operating system. So um, Python doesn't care whatsoever platform you're running on. Python code can run on different platforms. It can run on Windows, Mac OS, or Linux, without any modification, as long as Python is installed on that machine. And another thing is that, let me say number 6, which should be number 7 though, I is called open source. What is open source? By open source, we mean anywhere you hear the word open source, just know they are talking about that thing is not going to be paid for. So it means Python is free to use, distribute, even for commercial purpose. You can use it for commercial. You see that we installed it without having to pay any dime. So you just have to, you can use it for anything you deem fit. You can use it for free, for commercial use, for private use, for whatever use, for whatever purpose. That is the meaning of open source. These are another features. And of course, we talk about community support. Any programming language that doesn't have community support, just know that you have to be scared of that programming language. Community support simply means it has a large number of active community. In case you run into trouble while coding, you can easily. I'm going to introduce you to so many community, and of course, I have my own community too that we maintain. Don't worry, you get to know that. So Python has a large and active community that contributes to its development, offers support through forums and tutorials. You are free to even add to what Python has. You can support Python. You can create your own modules. You can create anything. Just make sure you are making Python grow. Of course, what are the use cases of Python? It can be used for web development. It can be used for data science, machine learning, and that is what we are going to do here. We can be used for artificial intelligence automation, game development, embedded system, and stuff. So advantages of Python. Just know that I'm just trying to rush so that we can start with coding. Advantages of Python are it is easy to learn. Like I said, some of the features also appear in the advantage. So it is easy to learn, especially for beginners. It has a rich ecosystem of library and frameworks. Like I've explained that. It has it's cross-platform compatible. It has cross-platform compatibility. and it has extensive support for integration with other languages and too. And it also has active community. So mind you, whatsoever thing that has advantage also has disadvantages. Of course, Python has its own disadvantages. It's slower. It has a slower execution. What do I mean? It's not as if it is slow to human assessment. You cannot assess the slowness. You can we just say it is slow compared to other language, but human being cannot assess the slowness with our physical eye. So Python is slower than compiled languages like C++ and Java because of the fact that it is interpreted. It is not ideal for mobile development. So don't even venture into using Python to create mobile development. So um, another thing is that it has a global interpreter lock. Jim, that's advanced for you. You don't need to know that, but of course you can verify that. So now that we understand what it is, and of course, um, eye level. Now I've not explained. I've explained some of the features, and of course, it captures some of the terminologies here. But you don't know the meaning of eye level. By eye level, we simply means a language how close it is to machine. So a high level language is not close to machine, like hardware. It's not close to hardware. So the kind of language that is close to hardware are low level language like C and C++ and Rust and whatever. So Python is high level, so it's not close to hardware. So uh so it tends to be a bit slow because it's high level. Of course, I've explained interpreted, and by general purpose, I've told you that it can be used for various things, which is highlighted in the advantage, in the advantages that I made mention of. So simplicity and readability, and of course, I explained who created it. So I hope I've been able to decipher this. So now, if you have, let me ask if there's any question here. If you have any question, let me know. Let me know at this point so that I can. If I'm too fast, let me know. If I'm too slow, let me know. If I'm not audible, let me know so that I can adjust to your review. Thank you very much. Please, I'm waiting. If you have any question, let me know, please. Before we run any, start to run any code, please let me know if I'm slow, and if I'm fast, let me know, please. Thank you very much. Anybody here? If I'm slow, let me know. If I'm fast, let me know, please. Okay, I think I don't have any bad review as to that. Okay, let me still wait. Let me still wait if I have one or two persons that wants to say something as to reviewing my explanation. If there's anything you don't understand, I'm waiting for your question. It is good to have so so uh, it is good to follow through and make sure what I'm doing you are understanding, so that we won't just be assuming. So I don't want to assume that I don't want to assume that you are understanding. Please, I need you to tell me if there's anything I'm doing that I'm not doing right. Let me know. Let me know, please. While I wait. So I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. So if there's any question, please let me know. Please let me wait for your question, please. Um, so please let me know if I'm too fast. Um, okay, I don't think I have any other questions. So let me move on to getting started with Python. So if you want to run code in Python, the first thing to do is we have we have a command. You understand? Let's say I want to run my code. I want to type something to it. I can simply say print. Let me say hello world, hello world. Let me type hello world, and that is just it. For those of you that are familiar with other language, other programming language, you have to run some lines of code. But in just one line of code, I can run Python program. But in other languages, you might even, especially Java, you might just write like 10 lines of code. But in Python, because it is simple, I just need to just do one line of code. You understand? And that's just if I run it, I have hello world here. As far as I'm concerned, or believe it or not, as small as this may look, you have just successfully run a code. You have just programmed a language, and that is just it. So, if you have done this, congratulations, you've run your first code, and that is the first thing that comes to us as a programmer. So this is your first code. Congratulations if you're able to do this. You will see that hello world is printed here. So the word print is a command. It's a command and it's a keyword in Python. It's a command that is giving instructions to the computer, telling the computer that I'm going to type this thing here. I want you to what? Give me the value that I've just typed here in the console. So what are these value? This is called string. This is called what? String. What is a string? String. Let me first of all um, explain each of these line. This is a command statement, and the command statement by print it means a function, a method. So we can say it's a command method. So uh, It's a command method. So what it means is this: when you say print is a function, and of course you can call it a method. So print, anywhere you see a command or a statement with um, double square, double round bracket, it is known as function or method. So here we now have some characters here. So these characters are known as string. Why do I call it string? It's basically because they are enclosed inside quotation, inside double quotes. So this double quote could as well be what? Single quote. You can be as well be what? Single quote. Python recognizes it. You understand? Other languages might not accept that, but in Python, it could be in either single quote or what? Double quote. So if you put it in, if you are starting, if you want to wrap a string in a double quote, wrap it in double quote. If you want to wrap it in single quote, wrap it in single, but don't wrap it in single and what? Double quote altogether. You cannot say something like this: print it will, you see that we have some squiggly here, and this squiggly is currently telling us that we are having errors, we're having bug already. So because I'm starting with double, so I have to what? End the string with what? Double. So what are these quotation mark, or what are these quotes? They are called string. They are called string. They are just called quotes, or you can call them string literals. Do you understand? They are called what? String literals. What is then string? Now let me explain what string is here. Let me explain what string is. Let me clean this off. A string, let me explain. A string is a combination of character. It's a combination of different different or similar character, or similar character enclosed in what? In a quotation mark, or enclosed in single, enclosed in a single or double quote, quote or literals. I can put it that way. Told you what string literal is. So anything you wrap inside double or single quote is known as what? String. Do you understand? So here I've just imputed a string of character known as what? Hello. Anything can be string and anything can be a character. Mind you, numbers could be character. Do you understand? As far as you are wrapping them in a what? In code, they are becoming string. So we also have numbers. We also have numbers. So I'm giving you the primitive data types. Do you understand? But before we go into that, um, let's first of all deal with string data type. So string is a combination of different or similar character. Now, now let's start off with creating a variable. Now, if I want to have access to this thing, I can't have access to it simply because I can only see it in a console that is being printed. Um, where's the where's the syntax error? No syntax error. Sorry, we run it. There's no syntax error. Yeah, hello world. So yeah, it's successful. Yeah. Now you will see that I can only see it in the console, but if I want to make reference to it, I can't make reference to it. Reason being that I'm at coding it inside the what? Print statement. But if I want to have access to it, I need to store it in a variable. This thing now, if I clean it, is not in the memory. It's not committed in the memory because I am not storing it in a variable. So to now create a memory for this data, you create what? You create what is known as what? A variable. I've explained what a variable is. A variable is like a container that is opening a memory in your computer and storing a value in it. So let me say a variable. What do we call a variable? What do we call our variable? Anything. You can call your variable anything. Just make sure you are not calling it a keyword. There are keywords in Python that are called reserved keyword, and you cannot name your variables or your file those keywords. You understand? So don't worry, you will eventually get to know those keywords, and you don't need to memorize them by by convention, you will get to not using them as variable names or file names. So don't worry about that. Don't bother yourself. So now let me create a variable. Let's say I want to create a variable that does something, or that is descriptive of that. Let's just do something um real. Let's say I want to greet somebody. Let's say name. I can say first name. I want to say first name. Let me say first name equals. Let me pick a name from here. Let me say Kundwani. Kundwani. Let's say first name equals what? Kun Kun Kundwani, and second name or last name. You see the way I'm writing my variable. I will tell you different kind of variable that we have. So look at the way I'm writing my variable. So we can say second name equals we can say Soko. So you will see first name Kundwani, last name Soko. Do you understand? So here we can you will see the squiggly line here is saying unknown words. These are just normal spelling, so don't mind that. Let me accept. Sorry. So so um first name Kundwani, last name Soko. Do you understand? So now I want to say hello, uh, or I want to ask a question, and I'll say, "What is your name?" Do you understand? Or I want to print the name. Do you understand? So let me print the name. Now, first of all, we created a variable called first name. Look at the way I'm writing it. I'm making it readable by writing all first in lowercase, and another word I'm starting with what uppercase. This is called camel kissing. Camel, you know camel now. So the hunchback, the way you know how camel looks. So camel casing. So I now say equals to. You see this equals to is known as what? Assignment is what? Assignment notation. Do you understand? Then what am I assigning in it? I'm assigning what? String data inside it. So this is the value that I'm assigning to it, and this is the value that I'm assigning to it. If you want to know the kind of data type that you are assigning to a variable, you can just say print. To know the data type, you can say print type of first name. So what am I telling Python to do? Let me know the type of the data that is stored inside what? This first name variable. So if I print it, it's going to tell me what? The type. So what is the type? It will tell me string. You see that it belongs to what? String. str simply means string. So it belongs to what? Class string. So that is that. Since we now understand this is another thing you should know. So don't worry. You can just be writing them down, and you can be coding along using that online ID that I just introduced you to. The program is so that is that. So now, uh, first name Kundana. So now let's now print it. Let's print uh, is it print. Now in this case, you don't need to use string literal again, because why? You have stored Kundwani inside string, and you have stored it inside variable. So the variable is a string itself. So you don't need to wrap the variable inside quote. Mind you, you don't wrap variable inside what? Quote. So you just write the variable like that. First name. You will see I'm just typing first name. I'm not wrapping it in the variable, because what is inside is already what? Wrapped in the variable. If I wrap this first name inside variable, it won't give me what is stored in it. It will just give me, it will take this. Python is going to see this as string. It won't see it as variable. Let's try it and see. Sorry, let me run. Okay, so let me comment this out. I'm going to tell you what that is. No, it shouldn't be giving me an error. Forget about it. Quick fix. It's just my pylons. It's not saying. It's not a problem. It's just my balance that is saying I should, yeah, so that it won't be showing those. And now, in your own case, it won't show it. So now, if I run it, instead of it to give me the value inside first name, it's giving me what? The first name. Why did that happen? It's because I've wrapped this first name inside what? A code. I shouldn't have done that. Do you understand? Because it's variable. It already contains something that has, I mean, that is wrapped in a string literal already. So I don't need to wrap it again. So now, if I run it, it will bring what? The value that is inside in it. That is stored in it. It will bring it out as what? Output. So now, I want to type first name and what? Last name. So I can say there are two ways. Is either I say uh this, is either I do it this way. I say plus last name. Now this plus is not adding first name and last name. It is called concatenation in programming language. So when you add two strings together, eh, when you add two strings together, it is not addition. When you use plus sign on two strings, it is not addition. It is called concatenation. Let me write it out. It is called concatenation. Concatenation. It's a programming lingua. It's a programming lingo that simply means adding or using plus sign to what? Two strings, two or more strings. So instead of addition, you call it concatenation. So here I'm concatenating the first name and last name so that we can have uh, Kondwani Soko. But there's going to be a problem. The problem is, let's see, I will explain. So when I run this, it gives me Kondwani Soko. But look at this. You will see that this is not readable. It's not readable because it's compacting Kondwani and Soko. There's no space in between Kondwani and Soko. How do we now do that? To do that, you can simply concatenate an empty space, an empty string, an empty quote. You can say plus empty string plus again last name. You understand? So first name plus empty string plus last name. That is the first fix for it. It's loading. Let me rerun. Okay. Now you will see that I create an empty string. I didn't put space in between. It still gave us the same answer. So let me put space in between. So that space we now create. So what I've just done is first name concatenated with empty string, which is space, plus concatenate it again with what? Last name. So it will give us the normal way that we should have Kondwani Soko. That is the first fix for it. Now the second fix is this. This is the second fix. How do we have the second fix? The second fix is this. We can simply say, instead of putting concatenating like this, we can simply say, like we can do something like this. We can put comma, first name, comma, last name. It will give us what? Kondwani Soko. Do you understand? So, any question? If there's no question, let's continue. Let's continue. So that is the first thing. Now we have done something. We have explained something. Now there's one thing I need to let you know. Now, if I don't want, let's say I want to write something, maybe I want to explain. There's one thing we call commenting or explaining your code, your each line of your code. So if I want to explain, if I want to say something about this thing now, let's say I want to say printing the first name and last name of somebody, and I want to give the information here so that other developers will see it. There's a way you can do it, and that way is called commenting. So if I want to comment, if I put a comment here, you will see that it changes the color. It changed the color of this line of code here. Each code is written line by line. First name line 1, last name line 2. We have 3, 4, then the fifth one. It doesn't matter how you don't necessarily need to follow the sequence. So here you will see that I've used hash key. The moment you use hash key in Python, every language has its own way of commenting, but in Python you use hash key. The moment you put hash key, you are telling the interpreter to ignore. You are telling Python to ignore this line that you should not run it. So if I run it, it will run. It will run because I've what put a comment here. I've put a comment here. Let me bring this down. So because what I have put a comment here. So the moment I put a comment here, I've just told Python, do not run that line. So that is what it means. So that is what commenting a line of code is. So if you comment your line of code, even in the online IDE, it will do same thing. Any question? No question. Assume. So that is that about what string. Now we now have let me explain different variable. You will see that I store it in that variable. So let me explain different variable that we have. We have camel casing. Now look at the way I spelled camel casing. You see that camel all written in lowercase. Then the next word I'm to call the C. I started the C with an uppercase and ending it. So it's just for readability case. I mean sake rather. So what is camel casing? Camel casing is a convention of naming variable by having the first word all written in lowercase and the second word having its first letter written in uppercase. That is what is known as what camel casing. Another casing convention is called Pascal. Pascal casing. Now, Pascal casing. So every new word I mentioned is using the first alphabet of every of every word is what written in uppercase or capital letter, as the case may be in Nigeria. So capital letter or uppercase. So P is written in uppercase, which is why I say Pascal casing. So every first letter of each word is written in what uppercase. I hope you understand that. It's written in what uppercase. Now that is Pascal casing. So it's a naming convention where you have each alphabet of every word written in what uppercase. Then we have another one called snake casing. Snake casing. No, this is kebab. It's called snake casing. Now, snake casing is when you have underscore introduced between each word. So in this case, we're trying to have create a readability by creating a snake casing. So we have first word snake underscore is just a way to connect casing and snake, because you can't write your variable like this, snake casing. Python will not allow it. In fact, no programming language will allow it. So you have to what combine those words together. So if I write something like this, you will see that you it's not sensible. The reason why we write, we programmers, we tend to write our variables in such a way that it explains what it is storing. Do you understand? Let's say, for example, I want to write even number, even number. Imagine that I'm writing the even number like this, and I want to store even number there, say 4. You will see that you might find it difficult to understand that what I mean is actually even number. Or so the best thing for me to do is to create either snake casing or make it camel casing. You understand? You will see either I make it snake casing or make it camel casing or make it what Pascal casing. Sorry. Or I make it what Pascal casing. I hope you understand that. We also have one called kebab. Kebab casing. Kebab casing is this. Kebab casing. Instead of using an underscore, you use what? Hyphen. So it's also allowed in Python programming language or any other programming language. So if you have any question as to how we have, so now let's now go to. I've explained what data type is. I've explained what string data type is, and nobody seems to have any question as to that. So the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be storing numbers. Python can store anything. It can even store, variables, sorry. You can store anything in the variable. You can even store another variable inside the variable. Python allows that. Even other programming languages do allow that. So you've understood variable. If there's any question, please let me know in the comment section. And if you don't have if you have none, let's continue. So another thing we're gonna be looking at is um, we're gonna be explaining different operations in Python. Different operations in Python. We're going to be looking at different operations in Python. So I don't want us to, in these different operations in Python, we're going to be looking at different operations, quite honestly, but I don't want you to rush into it. So I think we should continue that in the next class because I want you to let everything sink in. Do you understand? I want you to let everything sink in. I want you to learn everything and I want everything to sink in. So let's go the way it's been easy so that you won't get confused. Now I want to give you an assignment. This is an assignment. My assignment is this. Um, where are you going to submit the assignment? You submit the assignment in the comment section. You understand? So you come back, you do your assignment, and you come back, you write your name. Yeah, this is what you will do in the comment section. You write your name, say uh let me say Kazungu. Kazungu. Let me say Kazungu Yeye. You understand? Let me say my name is Kazungu Yeye. And uh I'll just write Kazungu Yeye. Um my assignment. You can say my assignment and you write the you just um comment your you just post your code there and I will check and I will grade you on that. Don't worry. I'll grade you, don't worry. So what is the assignment? So you just write your name, your full name Kazongo Yeye, because I understand that some of you might be using your nickname as your YouTube name. So write your name and submit your assignment in the comment section. So what is the assignment? I gave this. So I want you to do me a favor. I want you to write your name. I want you to write your name, uh, your first name, your last name. You can write your date of birth, but you can, of course, you can decide not to write your real date of birth. Just you know. Uh, but if you're writing your date of birth, you do something like this. You can say date. I don't want to give you a clue. Eh? Instead of don't write full number. You can say something of February 2000 and whatever. Let's say you can say today is 22nd of January 2025. That is your date of birth. Or you might not even write your year. Just write first of 22nd of January. You understand? Leave the year out. So write that and write your. I want you to code out your your first name, last name, and make it interactive. You can just say, I want you to write a code that says, my my name, my name is. You write the variable. My name is uh, Kazungo Yeye, and I You can say your date of birth. For example, I'm using my date of birth to be. I am okay. My name is Kazungo Yeye. Okay, I am. Tell me your country. I am from Kazungo, Kazungo country. Kazungo. Sorry, I'm from Kazungo nation. Okay, my name is Kazungo Yeye. I'm from Kazungo nation, and I was born in say in. I was born in uh 22nd of January, for example. So, so let it be descriptive like this. Let your code explain something. So that will be the task. So by there, each class will be given tasks to we start building software, real software. We're gonna be building real software. So and we're gonna be using, of course, data science. We're gonna be building real software. We're gonna be doing real life things. So of course, you don't start climbing the mountain from the top. You start from the very ground. So I think I, I we have come to the end of the class. And if there's any question, if there's anything that you are finding difficult to understand, if there's anything I've explained that seems very foreign to you, let's use this opportunity to ask. You can ask me. I'm still here before we call it off. Thank you very much for your audience. For those of you that have attended, thank you very much. And if there's any way to improve my teaching, let me know. And if there's anything you don't understand, let me know. Thank you very much. So if there's anything, let me know. If there's anything. Okay, if you want to use code block is simply for C and C++. Code block is for C and C++. I don't know how you want to use that. There are some IDE that are specifically designed. They are like special purpose IDE, like that of code block that is specifically used for C and C++. And we also have another one that is designed strictly for Java, which is IntelliJ. So you can't tell me that you want to use IntelliJ for to code Python. You understand? So that is just that. We also have that one that is strictly for Python. We are going to use that eventually, and I'm just using this so that to get you started. So that's why I'm using this. But of course, eventually we're going to be using Anaconda. We're going to be using uh, PyCharm and all those things. No, apart from PyCharm, we're going to be using Jupyter Notebook that is inside of Anaconda. So, yeah, but of course, I don't have to, you know, throw you out of the window when you're still learning how to fly. So that is just it. If you are still having problem to install Python on Windows 10 Pro, don't worry, it's not an issue. I will take everybody through the series on Saturday or on Sunday, whichever the case may be. So, any other question? You're welcome. You're welcome, Soko. You're welcome. Okay, on the timetable, I think I shared the timetable in the group. I don't know why you didn't, or how possible you didn't see it. Okay, I will share it. That's the case. Just private chat me. I will share it. So I think we need to cut it off. Thank you very much. I waited for everybody to ask questions. I think nobody has any questions. So thank you very much and God bless.